good morning on a very sunny Monday morning. Not sure what date the day is today. I think it's somewhere around 13th or 14th. Oh, we'll pull in here for him. Bit of village traffic. We're in the village of Limpsfield and in Surrey. And up ahead on those hills, right up the top, that's the North Downs, and most of that's the Titsey estate, Titsey House and the Titsey Brewery. And we are going to go up an old road I used to go up, an old byway. I'm curious to see if it's still open. It's gated, but the gate never had a padlock. And I thought, it's not too far away from where we've been this morning. So I thought, well, while in the area, let's have a nose. But the Titsey estate is a fully functional working estate and house. But the little village here is just, it's a bit of a cut through from Croydon, which is over the top of those downs. A fair distance from there, but this is a general direction. The A25 is behind me, and it leads out to the M25, so quite often can be a cut through. Going right is the main road up, but if we go left, it basically is the old route. That's Titsey Road, which we just passed to the right, but this was the old route up many years ago. So it's not the most challenging of byways. It can get washed out. It has been known to get washed out. Just going to adjust the camera here when I turn, because I've got a mount that just isn't really that great, and it's quite where the phone is so heavy, I think, and of course the Land Rover rocks it about a bit. But I'm looking at new mounts for GoPros and things. This is just a mobile phone mount that I've been using, but it does the job. But as I say, it's getting a bit old and worn. I've used it for when we've been touring about the Highlands and the Lake District. So this is coming up towards Titsey House and the farm buildings of the Titsey estate. And it's slow, but this was the old route up the hill. But as you can see now, it's pretty abandoned. This is the M25, London Orbital M25. I've forgotten how long the build up to the lane was. I hoped it could still be driven, otherwise it's going to be a very short video. I've done this in snow and I've done this in the rain and the wet. Oh, thank you, Mr. Farmer. They're busy today, it's harvesting. So all these guys are really busy, and they work very hard. They're working very hard at the moment. Had a very wet year 2024. So this on the right is the Titsey Estate, House of Gardens, visitors, and this is the public byway, and it's still the sign to my left is still saying Byway. Now, I've not heard of any TROs or anything being put on it. I did have a quick look online, but I couldn't see anything. Looks like they've gated it. Might be able to go through. And I just have a look. Pause the video while I jump out and have a look at this, I think. Let's see what it says. Bit of drama with the gate there. You can probably hear Nevi panting. He's just been out on a walk over Limpsfield chart. I'll have to get out and shut the gate. Nevi's decided to join me up front. So I've never ever bothered with diff locks on this terrain. Any slippage is minimal. Sometimes in the winter it could get very rutty, but I'm going to get Navi in the back. Navi in the back, good boy. But doesn't get overgrown either, because Titsey being a working estate, a lot of time a lot of the farm machinery does come up and down here. You can probably make out in the video there's quite a lot of washout. We had some rain earlier in the week, this week, September, but it was more the beginning of the year. It was just rain after rain, and I hope these boys, these farmers, doesn't affect them. We're actually starting to climb quite steeply now, and again, low range, do you bother? It's some do, some don't. You can, you don't have to. It's not particularly that steep. Looks like they've been doing some work here to rebuild the road, or add some drainage by the looks of that. Yeah, that's a big drainage. Help combat some of the washdown. I mean, this is the North Downs. We are climbing up it. It's chalk, and obviously a lot of rubble, stone, flint and chalk build up. You can probably see the sun shining on it. It's quite white. Now we're actually starting to climb quite high now. Anyone at any skill level could do this. Coming down, engine braking, but there isn't any real danger. It is steep, but it's not as steep as you'd panic about. I used to come up and down here with my an old 90, about 1991, 1990, short wheelbase 90, 200 TDI. I used to love it. It was just such a bit of fun, so locally, without having to drive for miles and miles. It's a shame the camera really doesn't. I've seen it on so many other videos. I know on Boris the Defender, some of the brilliant footage he's filmed. He always says in those videos, you never appreciate how steep a road is. I mean, I'm looking at the screen as I'm going up, and it's not a hard track by no means. I'd say any skill level in a moderate 4x4 without any. I mean, a van would go up this to be able to see this dry weather, but even a at the moment, anything with just fairly reasonable tyres, you wouldn't need mud terrains. Even in the harshest of weather up here, apart from snow, you wouldn't need mud terrains. It's just a bit of fun. It's not as rutty. I think they must have really smoothed it out. They must have done a lot of track repairs to it. So the thing with Byways is all the way up here is there's signs for the Titsey estate. So please stay to the track. Don't veer off the track. And they're gated anyway, padlocked, so you can't. But any motorcycles or mountain bikes. I mean, this is a great run. I've actually come down here on a mountain bike. And it's, yeah, you've got to be careful because there could be something coming up, but you've got to make sure there's no farm machinery coming up. Oh, this is a little bit more dippy. Yeah, it looks like it's been a little bit of washout here, not too much. I mean, currently I'm just in first poodling. I'm not even, I suppose I could be in second. If I was to go into low range, stop, we put it in low range. It's not even, put it in second and we second gear, low range, to be a little bit more easier on the clutch. But certainly no diff locks. You won't need the diff locks up here, per se, unless it's snowy. And always take your time, there's no rush. No rush with these things. So I thought I'd stop for a moment just to show the, can't really show the degree, but you can see the washout. The landy up there, I mean you can see by the video I'm almost looking up underneath the landy. So it's quite a steep hill, and there's lots of lovely walks around it. Now this is part of the forestry, goes up into the estate, but it's not a road. Yeah, it's all part of the Titsey Foundation. It's not somewhere you can go. You can see there's been some forestry clearing works up here, but the walks around here are absolutely, the views are well worth the effort. It's hard going on foot. There's a car park which you'll see right in a minute when we get to the top. You can park. But then the walks are so easy, nice easy trails, all link up, all signposted. But as you can see, Titsey Foundation, the Titsey Estate, and their coat of arms. It's for someone who's starting out, who wants to get, who's bought a little four-wheel drive. There's some of the park walks, and it's really worth doing. But yeah, for someone who's starting out and wants to have a little bit of go, off-roading, wheeling, going wheeling. There's a few little ruts, but it's a good little byway, and it's all legal. There's no TROs that I know of any time of year where it gets closed, but it's a really nice place. So we carry on with the ascent. There was a lady and her dog walking up here, but I let them pause for a bit while I just did that walk around. Just let her get on ahead with her dog. Dog walkers aren't a problem up here. I think they appreciate that it is a working road, it is a byway, so you don't get all the things. But obviously, you know, there's a lot of byways where running, especially running over private land, which this is, you can get some people that can really get angry against 4x4s, bikes. It's a shame as I look over to my right, which you can't see on the camera, beautiful views across the downs over towards Sevenoaks, but there's not enough really worth panning round for with the camera. But it looks right over towards Montreal, across the Squirries estate in Westerham, across to Montreal estate over in Sevenoaks. I've had a little bit of wheel slip, but not. The later Defenders had a traction control as well as a diff lock, and so there's nothing really that. And I'm only on all terrains at the moment. I've been to Cirque de Ravin in France in some real thick mud, and I was very impressed with how these tyres, Continental all terrains. I was really impressed with them, but they've worn really well. They still got loads of life in them. And the gates are always unlocked. Just shut them as you go through and nobody can moan. Right, I'm going to do my window up a bit, turn the engine off because we are on a hill, and I'm going to leave Navi in the car. And although the brakes on this are fine, that is a steep hill, and if the brakes were to go, he'd be gone, and so too with the car. And I'm not prepared to risk either, but especially not Navi being trapped inside. So I'm going to go and open the gate, we'll pull through. So Titsey has its own house, which I do a walk with Navi, parking at the top car park where we've just come from out the top gate there. That'd be an own video in itself, because I've taken the house, which is really lovely. So here it is, that's the Tatsfield, the Titsey Brewing Company. And I'm going to turn around in their car park. I hope they don't mind, but I'm plugging their brewery, so they shouldn't. Not getting anything for this. So outdoor seating, the shop, see the brewery there itself, the vats, and there's the view of the downs, which sitting there looking out on that is absolutely fantastic. Amazing views. So yeah, we could park there. I'm thinking of doing a video where we could park at the brewery, do the walk, do a loop down to the house on the North Downs Way, which is what that sign was saying.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter.